Hey comic book fans, time for Green Lantern No Fear. After Hal Jordan comes back, it's like a new beginning with a new Green Lantern series with Jordan back in the center stage. Most of these issues are very small scaled compared to the crazier newer ones, but I still like it. It focuses on Hal on Earth, which I wish the newer series would focus on. It has Hal Jordan back in the Air Force and he's solving a mystery in this first story, and he's also trying to handle being back with the family. And he also meets a new love interest, Cowgirl. Since this is the beginning, the story might feel a little slow at some points. And in these issues, the first villain is a Manhunter. It's nice to see a Manhunter again, because they are important to the Green Lantern universe. But I do find it a little weird how Hal has a lot of trouble handling one Manhunter, because later they are destroyed pretty easily in comparison to this. The next story has Hal dealing with some kind of weird evolution growth, like the one that infected Hector Hammond, and it's spreading around. So Hal has to carefully confront Hector Hammond to figure out what's going on, and then he fights the Shark, which is this badass giant shark, and lastly, he randomly fights Black Hand. These stories are very interesting and entertaining Green Lantern action that you should experience for yourself. These stories are kind of fillers in terms of progression of the story. It's mostly on the character development, as we see more of Hal and how he handles his family and his role in the Air Force. The Manhunter's purpose mostly establishes how dangerous they can be to the series. The story with evolutionary growth is more of a filler to show off some fighting and characters, and the only real consequence is that Black Hand's a little more powerful now. Real quick about the art, it looks really great, but in issue 6 when Hal fights Black Hand, it looks really bad. They got a different artist, but the contrast in style is very noticeable. I'm not a huge art fanatic, but this is probably the worst art I've ever seen in a comic book. Just look at it. It looks like it's sketches. Overall, it's a good, smaller Green Lantern story. A lot of Green Lantern stories now are very huge and insane, but this brings Hal Jordan back to roots. And I appreciate it, and I enjoy it for what it is. Even though it is mostly fillers, it's a good start to what's going to be a massive epic story. I give Green Lantern No Fear a 3.5 out of 5. I enjoy it for what it is and its simplicity. It might feel a little lacking compared to new Green Lantern stories, but it's good. If you have the trade back, or am going to get the trade back for this story, I have one little nitpick. Most comic books, when they reprint issues and put them in trades, they like to divide them, but this trade does it a little different. Instead of having covers to indicate that it's the next issue, they put all the covers in the back, and they put all the comic panels and all the pages in all together, and it's undivided with all the covers and variant covers in the back. Now this is one little nitpick I have, and one thing I really don't like, because I like to read trades by issues and I don't just sit through the whole thing, and when I ever want to take a break I have to pull out a bookmark to know where I left off, and it just kind of annoys me. And again, it's just a small complaint, and no other trade back does this, so that's good. Up next for Hal's adventures will be Green Lantern Revenge of the Green Lanterns.